Hey, popping in right now, guys. Got a little bit more for you today. I'm sure you've been, trekking along a little bit, and basically, it's been a lot going on. It's been a lot going on, and a lot of things are in sync, and made me made me think. You know what I'm saying? Made me think a little bit more on the things that have happened within the recent past and present, present day also, and also that of a few years back and everything, a few years back, and it all comes together in a nice little bow, I should say. Nice little bow that needs to be ironed out a little bit right here. So I want to try and do this right here. Well, I'm not going to try and do it. We're going to do this right here with you to see if you can see what I see. If not, hey, that's fine. It's not for you, and but the whole try and hold on to it because you never know. You never know when you might need it, you might run into it, or it might happen to you. All right. So basically, what kicked me off today was I only got snippet out of Radiohead when he had Radiohead 363, formerly Black Magic. He says he had in there Lady Vicky, he had Mama T, and he had Sister Myra. And I didn't mean to say that in backwards order. Sister Myra is that of the oldest, you know what I'm saying, I believe, Mama T, and then Lady Vicky. It was just the order in which he had them on the screen and everything today, or the other day. And their topic and everything was hitting right on. I put it on that post with the many forms of abuse with that of Tarot Doc and even Latter-day Saints and everything that was up there, right? As many organizations are going into and put on blast for the different things they put people through, whether it be large corporations or individuals. We are seeing these things play out right before us every single day. And it's just that time for it and everything, as everybody's been stating, even on the show here that they were talking about. It is just that time. Same thing with Ms. Molly was talking about. The matter of fact, even was that Sister Myra, she even spoke on, as far as, being a Leo sun and everything, and air and fire, the same thing. And even more so, like, and they're always talking about vibration with technology and everything, vibrations, and even how technology can't handle the vibration. And I personally had a story with that happen when I first stepped out in 2016. In 2016, when I first stepped out, went to Santa Barbara City College and was getting some help from a Spanish teacher to help me translate or make sure my translation was good with the song I had wrote, and of course some homework and everything. And so basically, she had went ahead and helped like 4 students ahead of me. I was standing in line, She helped 4 students ahead of me and everything, and they went in, came out, no problem. When I came in, and she said, to set up my computer, and she'll pull up hers and everything. And when she did, her computer went out, and she was like, what? What? She really just said, what the heck is this? And so I'm just saying that with that, in conjunction with how technology, you know, is on a certain vibrations, but if we carry these vibrations, then we'll actually override even that of these computers. You know, it was like, and so it was cool to go ahead and actually hear her go ahead and explain this because it was something that had happened to me inside of my life. I actually went home and told my ex-wife and everything about it too. And so, yeah, so it was cool on that and everything, you know. And then as Lady Vicky, she was going ahead and speaking on, her, uh, I guess was a story or even example as far as being up inside of a plane and receiving messages up even in the ethers as a as a Mama T, I mean, Mama T, helped her with it. She said because we're in different dimensions. We're in different dimensions, traveling through many different rainbows, even that we don't even know. We don't even know. Okay, and when we receive something, it's not like something we can just, well, this is what. No, it's like it comes through us, and you know what I'm saying. We want to just, however it comes through us, and they were saying whether it be the light codes that people are speaking in today, or as I guess speaking in tongues there of in the New Testament was talking about happened, you know, Paul and everything, uh, and so all those things was hitting right on, and then sister, sister, no, and Vicky also she prompted me too on this one right here. Oh my goodness, this was in real lifetime too, like as you probably seen already. All right. And in real lifetime, she was like, says, she was just being she's not really a sports person and this and that and everything. And, but she was being a good wife and accompany her husband to a boxing match. And the only thing she knew is like whoever had gotten bloodiest and everything, hey, they won and everything in a general sense. And that right there, it prompted my visit to Tanzania. Okay, it prompted my visit to Tanzania in the essence, well, in the nano essence, in the reality that when I went there, a lot of things was going on. A lot of things was going on, you know. Actually, it was a couple of things that was going on as far as they were trying to divvy me up, or who was going to get what and everything, and they had to share, they had to share and everything. And so what happens inside of that right there, it comes to like, I Ching is this fellowship with men and everything, you know what I'm saying? Number 13, you know what I'm saying? And even the Shaolin, I can't go ahead and verbatim on it, but the Shaolin, as Bruce Lee was saying, the Shaolin rule number 13 is basically, he says, the Shaolin master who, first of all, the big Shaolin master was saying, hey, Han had messed up and everything, disappointed. And so he had asked him, what is Shaolin rule number 13? He said, and Bruce Lee, in short form, he said, basically, you have to clean up your own mess. Clean up your own mess. Correct it. And in that, so the fellowship with men, as far as in the I Ching, is along those lines and everything, And so during that time, Trevor, he had divvied me, of course he had to take his, he had to go ahead and share amongst the people and everything too, and they, whoever the top tribes were there, or whoever's territory he's inside of functioning with, and then get to that of, of course, the greater and the lesser, whoever's above him and below him, because he's still a newcomer. And so what they devised and everything was that of a, a trip that came from the UK, right? Now I'm saying UK and everything because this is in conjunction with Vicky as she was speaking on that of Russia, okay, which also uh, Molly spoke on as far as having an earthquake, the biggest earthquake in like 80 years, 14.4, 14 something, 14 some magnitude on it. You know what I'm saying? Largest period, right? And so Vicky was also speaking on Russia and the Ukraine. So Ukraine, so what the UK and everything out of Ukraine, see, CRA is Kenya Revenue Authority, okay? And the A and the IN is the I and everything, okay? And so basically what happens is the UK, people from the UK and everything came over, and somebody else had got into their business, or either they did it on purpose, or but he looked like he was pretty mad about it. And so they took half the people, okay, and he took the other half, and he didn't get all the money in which he had set up and everything. So they still had to divvy it up. And even as we're looking at it, they went to their places and did everything they were supposed to do when they went ahead and signed up for the trip, to get there to Tanzania. We ended up going back to some place to where one of the local, or I guess well-known rapper that is Africa, and he was performing that night. And then the children got up on there and performed their song also and everything, right? A couple of songs that they wrote and everything also. And the people from the UK, I could see inside their eyes that all of this shit was not right, because everybody had like a smirk. Everybody had a smirk. And so I just sat back, checked everything out and everything, you know what I'm saying? And so basically, yeah, so all this is, I'm just giving you how it blended in, okay, to reality, all right, and my reality. And so what happens is, as I go back, as you've probably seen already, if not, I'm going to post it then, So Shija is this Thai boxer here, and I mean, the guy is out of fucking shape. Even I wasn't in the best of shape, but it is no way in hell, heaven or hell, that this is going to be a championship fight, and he's going to knock out the person in the first fucking round within 144 on the clock seconds. Okay? Now, at that time, I didn't get a glimpse of the time. It was early. I mean, I got it at a different clock. But and that's on another phone and everything. But I did remember the 197, because the 197, which is put up there for Yeshua, and that because that was the radio producer, whoever produced and everything. That's the stamp on YouTube, which you've seen already, And so, anyways, so he knocks him out at 144 on the clock. Bam! In the first fucking round. That shit was just like too fucking. It was too fucking fun, and everybody's reaction, afterwards was like over fuck. It was like, you know what I'm saying? Oh my goodness! And he ain't in shape for shit. He wasn't in shape for shit for a fucking championship. And this was the championships they put in the money for that shit too, to make it the championships and everything too. I was like, what the fuck? And on top of that, you know, you could tell it was like, it was boo-boo, basically, because even before, you know, he asked for 20 shillings to, you know, to go to, for the ride up, okay? And then when everybody get back and everything, you know, everybody chip in and buy your own afterwards. So you could tell all of that shit was like straight bullshit, you know? And so we just went along with it, and it was like, wow. I couldn't believe it, you know? I mean, I did believe it, but I just had to hold all of this shit in while going through everything over there. I had to hold it all in. Even, he didn't even want me to go down to the beach to go to where was it? Maga Beach, okay, okay, or any other beaches down there to spend any money, because he wanted me to keep it, you know, as most as he can for himself, to go ahead and get whatever, you know. And so I still went down there, and you could tell still, even with the children, because this Julie had a little girl named Mousy, and Mousy was bright, but Mousy was traumatized. Because her mother would go over to fucking the UK, left her there, and then not only that, when she went over there the first time with them, or with her son, which ended up getting killed, so he was basically a sacrifice, okay? This traumatized Mousy. So that's the reason why Mousy was like withdrawn, but she was like she was a brainiac too. She's a brainiac, okay? I could tell. Anyways, so listening to, you know, all of these three women up here, like I said, Sister Myra, Vicky, who tripped that one for me, okay? Who tripped that thought for me and everything, even to go inside and look, to go ahead to see what I remembered as far as him in this Thai boxing thing, you know? This Thai boxing championships, because she was talking about the boxing inside of her, you know, and on the plane and everything. All of that shit was just like, it was there. It was there, you know? And then I went ahead and listened to Sister Myra on it, right? And how she put together, or not put together, it just flows, because it just does, you know? She was explaining that in the feminine, you know, first the question was the question the Radiohead gave him was, how did religion or anything play into that of the degradation or even of women and so forth. And I remember one of the responses and everything was even using the word motherfuck her. And so why isn't that motherfuck him? Exactly. Okay. And even the Buckeye, he started out with, you know, with Ohio, the Buckeye states, you know, bucking, you know, bucking men, bucking women, bucking children. You know what I'm saying? The Buckeye and everything, you know? And so all that right there it's just straight right in again. And what she stated, she stated that was Mama T. Mama T stated, you know, hey, it was as it is, it's even written inside the scripture. They tell you in the scripture, says if you go inside there and you go to war, you know, kill all the men, take the woman, shave her head, let her mourn for a certain amount of time, I believe it was 2 years, then you may go up into her. And then he'll tell her to go ahead and tell her son to even maybe fuck his mother or something. Fuck, all of that shit. And it even brought back even so much more trauma or even thought forms in how, you know, like say for instance, my youngest, Timmy, he definitely went through, you know, because I even in the argument with the ex-wife, the first ex-wife, German, Anne, with her, of she's making him sit down to pee, to urinate. And so that was already demasculizing him, okay? Making him sit down, not to say that he shouldn't be able to sit down and stand up, but did she teach Sarah how to piss standing up? Do you see what I'm saying? Did she teach the female how to piss, urinate, how to standing up? No. But she go ahead and tell him to sit down. Okay? So that right there is already, like they were stating, like Mama T was saying, it's already the mental part of emasculating the son to even grow up and be the father that he didn't even have. Okay? That he didn't even have. And so all these things played out inside of a lot of our lives if we go back and think about it. If we go back and think about it, a lot of these things played out in their life, as Sister Myra, she goes and she says that the father, because we have the positive and negative, the father is that with the daughter and the mother is with the son. And this is what happened. And so what if your mother goes ahead and sleeps with your son? Okay? Same thing with the father with the daughter. It's already foul. It's already foul. And it goes through the generations. And these are the 14 generations. And we'll come back to that 14 in a second, than which we're at the end of right now again, right? And so the male, and so when she said males always had something to do, especially angelic form, it had to do with the pregnancies. And we see this also inside of, now if you, now peep game, now this was something I saw too, okay? Because if I hadn't met Elizabeth Urasa, okay, who is part of the Kenyan Educational Department, it's an acronym too, I forgot it right now, but it's a Kenya Educational, or Tanzania, EAT, Tanzania Educational Department, Educational Department of Tanzania, EAT, okay? Or even 8, okay? Mama T, okay? She made all this come right straight. Mama T, straight. And so what had happened was, and I showed you with the video too, where the brother is explaining how the 3 arrows goes into the mother, and the mother's crying. And I asked him, why is the mother crying? Because the man comes home and she has to fix him something to eat and everything. That's one arrow. And then the baby's hungry, that's another arrow. And then we're not even talking about, if we try to pull the arrow out, healing. We're not even talking about the healing. We're just talking pulling the arrow out, and then another arrow. I forget what the third arrow was and everything. But that had to been their own. You had to take care. Everyone has to take care of themselves. So their own things, the arrow. And so and even to pull one out is not even the healing part. That's what he said, and it's true. It's not even the healing part, And so I met, and over there also there was in Mbezi Beach, which is the quote unquote rich part, by their shopping center, they have a school, and in that school there's above the clouds, and there's only light-skinned kind of colored people up there, to include the bus driver, which are above the clouds. Right? And so, but you put on a relationship, all right? So I meet Elizabeth Urasa, and see, Urasa is not just, first of all, we still on the name Elizabeth. Okay, Elizabeth, right? Okay, Elizabeth. We can take the E off. Just say lizard Beth, the house of lizards. Okay, and what happens? Uh, I meet her. Coincidentally, inside of a place where I was going to get something to eat, morning breakfast, little snack, and everything. And she was such a beautiful help to me to go ahead and help me in Kiswahili to order and everything, and so everybody. It was a stage. It was like you got to I give it to the stage set. I'm not gonna fucking lie to you. I give it to the fucking stage set. I do. You know what I'm saying? And but when I go inside to even look at, the Rasa is a family, is an organization, and what they do is they go ahead also and go out to other parts in Africa. They teach them to a certain degree of a certain language, or you take their language, and basically they go ahead for the ISO 693 2 and 3, in order to go ahead and get more money from the United States, you know, funneling in as we give them monies, what they do is they go ahead and start up an organization and give you 5 different heads and everything. So therefore, this people are over here, and now that those people are hungry, and so these people come into a budget. Okay, and so it's a whole organization, and there's many Elizabeth Orasas. It's just like Nguyen, Their name Nguyen, same thing. It's just like stamp name, code name, Brown name, Williams, uh, uh, one of the names, Johnsons, Jacksons, you know, code names and everything that we have under different families and so forth. And so going back to Elizabeth and going back to the birth process and what that Mama, who's a Sister Myra had spoke on, as far as it being the process that the masculine entity of an angel, has something to do with births and so forth. And what came to mind was that of Elizabeth and Mary. And as we recall, inside of that itself, with the Jesus in the womb, okay, Yeshua in the womb of Mary, and 6 months, with a 6 month head start, we have that of Elizabeth. And see what stated before is that it said Gabriel. Gav means man of God. Gabriel comes to that of Elizabeth, and she is impregnated. Okay, it may lead us to go ahead and look like, just like the same thing with Mary and Joseph. It may lead us to go ahead and think that the husbands are the father. I think it might be Zachariah was her husband, but I can't remember. But it might lead us to think that, but it might not be the case. I think it's more of a plausibility that Partheno Jesus was actually it. Partheno Jesus was actually it, in which there was necessarily no need for the man, but that of the angel. Okay, the angels and so forth, to even I say seed and even give life, just touch and give life. Okay, and slash that of our own, because parthenogenesis is that within ourselves, we ignite that at that arc, if we archangel, as we call archon within our own self, to go ahead and create and progenitate. What is it? Give birth. I can't think of the word right now. Progenitate. I want to say, but anyway, it can't give birth to that of children. Okay, and when we go ahead and look at it in that aspect, that is another plausibility of what had happened, what I totally believe did. Okay, got a hunk over there for it. Three of them, didn't we? All right. So also, they spoke on, as we're talking about. Let me see. I had to have some notes down here for this one right here. It spoke on vibrations and then telepathy and everything, and as totally in agreement with that of Vicky and Mama T, I believe was what we're talking about. We're already there on a lot of are already there. Now I've popped in on Mama T quite a few times, in the beginning, Again, also with Sister Myra, I've never heard Vicky before. Learned a lot through that of Radiohead, Rich right now, and Rod Hayes. And as he was stating, dang, who was his name again? I don't have it with me. What was his name again? Jordan Maxwell. A lot of these people have been taken off, you know what I'm saying? Jordan Maxwell, he gave me one of the first people I had read on. One of my first books was that of Manly P. Hall. You know what I'm saying? He turned us on to OSHA. Turned me on to OSHA right now. Rudolf Steiner, which Radiohead has spoke on also a little bit earlier. So it's a lot of material out here for us to go ahead and plug into, to go ahead and get your juices flowing if your juices are not flowing. Okay? And as I'm doing right now, it's going to trigger all kinds of things that you've already gone through. That you're already going through, and therefore we're already in that telepathy. We're in that shit already. All right? And at the same time, I wanted to go ahead and it reminded me. Now this is, because of like the astrology, the names of the Greek names and so forth of the planetaries have a lot to do with sex. Okay, we have what's called a sextile, squares, conjunctions. Okay, straight sex, and so the question was, because I've never had anal sex or anything like that. You know what I'm saying? So did people, was it a thought form, in which people will say and utilize to go ahead and say they open up, their crown chakra, it helps them be more clear, that maybe they won't have colon cancer, all those things, because they do go ahead and exercise and get all of the gunk out, maybe, So these are the thought forms that was coming through my mind and everything, and because of that right there, of what of our basis, which is called Homo sapiens. So the Ho and the Mo, Mo is that being of LGBT, okay? Say LGBTQ, yeah, communities and so forth and everything. And when I look into that of, uh, like I said, gorillas, or even as we had the show, Planet of the Apes, right? Planet of the Apes. And we have even Hanuman, all right? Hanuman of India. Okay, so we're dealing with a lot of this, a lot of the, they say Vedic astrology. We got the Mahabharata, you know what I'm saying? Bhagavad Gita. We got many different things over there, which we also receive these things, a lot of these teachings from and everything. And so, as the Americas do not have primates, there's not indigenous to us, though. Okay, primates are not indigenous to us, and what else is not? The lion is not indigenous to us. All right, even though we have many me like over here on Adams and with by the welfare department, there's a fucking hotel there that's got all over, like Las Vegas, the MGM Grand, lion, but it's not indigenous to the Americas. The lion is not. It's not even. The lion is not even indigenous to the UK. Okay, but we have these symbols, Richard the Lionheart and all that type of thing. Yeah. So we look at these things, and then we have the gorilla. Like I said, the gorilla is not indigenous to the Americas. It's not indigenous. You know what I'm saying? But, and I do mean but with the double T, it's all over at the same time. We have lions everywhere. Okay, lions, tigers, and bears. Oh my, we have Homo sapiens, which we have, homogeneous sexuality. We have it all everywhere, and so, and not to say what is good or bad within your bedroom. That's up to you. That's totally up to you. My thing was just had a question to it. Did it actually, because even right now we have what, Uranus and that of Virgo right now, and these conjunctions and everything. So if Virgo gonna go up inside the Uranus, then maybe you have a beautiful, a beautiful chakra, a beautiful enlightenment or something. I have no idea what it is for those who actually, maybe position themselves, maybe like the stars, and maybe this is how they do it around Stonehenge and inside the Masonic lodges between Yachin and Boaz and so forth. And you know what I mean? Everybody's on the different squares. Okay, you on square 63, but bent back over to the left on 64, and before the completion, and then after completion, go over to fellowship with men on square number 13, and then move on over to that of 14, because we need a great possession, the power of a great possession, So these questions that I had, on the Homo sapien, so it's not, and if we came from, we share that same gene, then a lot of the reasons why we go ahead and do the things we do might plausibly come from that. Plausibly come from that, and more than likely it does. More than likely it does. Between that and a lot of being, the ish, as Vicky spoke on. She said, she gonna scream the ish up out of them, the ish part. I really had some fun listening to her today. It cracked me up. I'm not gonna lie to you. And it was, again, on a personal note. It was because when I was over there, the person they sent to go ahead and do all of the, all the shenanigans was this dude named Saeed. And we had all kinds of Saeeds, And so Saeed came over and he went ahead and he had said to Mabusi or Alma, okay, My Buze is bad. Ma Buze is bad, meaning so she's a bad mama. And even her child told her, "Mom, don't fucking do it." I remember reading a text or something, you know, or listening through the phone. She said, "Mom, don't do it, don't do it." But she didn't give my Buze didn't give it for Alma, didn't give it for Aleph, La'am, Min, and and Saad. Obviously, she needed to go ahead and make sure she did her alms. You know what I'm saying? You know, and she was fucked up too. I couldn't believe she was fucked because a lot of people didn't like her, and she had dreads. And I kid you not, she had to wear a thing because half all this she had her dreads back to here now. All this shit was did spell work on her. It was like fuck them. I mean, when she pulled it up, I was like, damn. You know, I mean, I would have just shaved it on off and everything, but she goes, no, let's go back to Ethiopia and I'll get them back in or regrow them. You know, people have a lot of I don't know. Everybody, we do what we do. We do what we do. You know? So anyway, Hanuman has said, hey, he's messed up right now, but it'll return. This, I kid you not. Saeed has said this and everything. And he said, Hanuman, okay? Now I'm saying this Hanuman because, again, back to the Muay Thai boxing, the championships, okay? That I was over there at, okay? The Muay Thai. So you see what I'm saying? This is the whole, and even I was even watching a monkey style today, which is cool, in which I saw his fucking big ass right hand. He couldn't close. It was cool, and how he beat it slowly. This is something Eugene was actually doing, but he stopped. He stopped, I guess, to go ahead and shrivel up his penis. Make it all black and everything, I guess catch disease. He didn't want to go ahead and, continue on different things that plausibly could make the body even more stronger than his body is right now. Plausibly. So, all these things and everything, comes into possession with great measure. These are the things that makes possession with the great measure great. Okay? Now there's some things within the great measure that we're going to go over here in just a minute that I do not necessarily agree with. And I do mean I, and there are no I's, like Bruce Lee said. But if you let me fuck your sister, I'll teach you good kung fu. No, I'm just playing. We used to say that shit. Anyways. So, one thing, Sister Myra, she got ecstatic and everything. Like she was talking about how when they came together, when Mary came together with that Elizabeth, the children jumped at each other and everything. They jumped, and it was cool and everything. That's the vibration that she was talking about. You know what I'm saying? And then she went on to talk about, the 14th Super Bowl or something that Kendrick Lamar had sang at, and it made her remember and everything, because she was talking about this is also the 14 pieces of Osar, okay, or Osiris or Asar, in which that's where we got back to the male shaft, okay, the oblique, the obelisk, that the pin, as it is called, the penis, okay, and if we do not have ink, if ink does not come out the pen, or if we whack it up, and I want to speak on that too. I want to speak on that in a couple different ways. If we're going ahead as Brother Rod was saying, the Christ, the Cristo oil, Okay? If we go ahead and retain that Cristo, that's what the Christ is. That's the oil. That's what we're talking. If we retain that Cristo during our times, our ovulating times of each month, we have 3 days in each month in which those times, if we have retention, semen retention, and that of the vava, your juices retention and everything, you have been chased and just percolate. The vava just been percolating, and we've held it in, and that goes back down. It'll start traveling back up our spine to go ahead and give us that here in our chakra, in our pineal gland, right, in our crown chakra, to give us that focus, that drill, that drive, that and then even when you do have sex, then you do have that drive, and you do have all of that to go ahead and whether you want to go ahead and do a tantra or you know what I'm saying? Get it. Either way, you're still going to have more clout, more power. And so, if we don't, we're going to have more energy, more power to go ahead, and that is going to be on the focus points of whatever it is before us to focus upon. Okay? It's sent in our direction. All right? And so, the Christos. And so, I was going with that power, okay? Possession of great, all right? The power and great possession. That is the power we're talking about. That's the lightning bolt. That's the lightning bolt right there. That's the lightning bolt that opens up the, all right? That's the lightning bolt that comes down. Okay? That's inside of Kabbalah, that's the Shekinah glory and everything. That is or even the Shakti. The Shakti and that of the feminine essence, in which, again, a marriage bed is undefiled, though, as far as, depending, again, to each his own. You can, if you got 4 wives, then that's what you can supply all the need, and that's between you and you and your God, you and you, and what you can supply, and make sure that they're satisfied, not just satisfied, well taken care of, and that's on both ends, whether it be the feminine having the masculines, more than one, or even that of the masculine having more feminine, more than one. Either way, okay. If that is your choice, okay. But as we see throughout a lot of things, a lot of problems sometimes come out. A lot of problems come up, everything, but if we are found to be walking that middle path, okay, not over too much yang, not too much yang, not too much yin, walking that middle path and being balanced with both and everything, then, as she was talking about that 14th Super Bowl and the 14 meridians of our body and the control of that shaft, whether it be the feminine in control with it or the masculine in control with it. Okay? Not to say she holds on to the masculine's penis, but she herself has a penis herself. You know what I'm saying? All right. She has that Baba Pearl tongue penis too. All right. And so, if we go ahead and do this, then we're gonna have 2020, Exodus 2020 is going to lead us to Exodus 14:14. Exodus 20:20 is, I have come to prove thee, to test thee. And Exodus 14:14 is that, and the Lord shall fight for ye, and ye shall hold your peace. Why is yea in here? Fight for you, and ye shall hold your peace. What does yea mean? Fluid. Fluid. In Chinese, fluid. Okay? Yea shall hold your peace. 14:14. Shamot. Names. Exodus. This is also 14 is also where we're getting ready to go over to the promised land. This is where we're getting ready to go. So that promised land is not just in the physical, but this is the astrophysical realm right here that we're talking about. This is the astro-metaphysical realm that we're talking about. Yea shall 14. Yea shall. If we don't, then we skip over there to Isa, Ha-Isa, 14:14, right? And they would say, I will ascend above and be like the Most High. Ain't nobody can be like nobody. Matter of fact, even that of the real Most High didn't want us to be like the Most High because we couldn't fathom that anyway. That's the reason why the Jews just say Hashem, G/D, which brings it down to the 7-4, 7-4 and everything, and which they multiply again by the 666, by the 9, to go ahead and get you the 666, which is what we're vibrating with right now, which is change. Now, depending on which way you want to change, again, that's how you're going to, on your yin side or your yang side, that's again on how you're going to go ahead and look at it and apply it and retrieve it and utilize it and hold on to it and give it away when it's necessary. And be careful who you give it away, whether that be, first of all, your person, first and foremost, and even a lot of the knowledge that we're even talking about, because people will utilize it like they're so knowledgeable and then talk you right out of your panties and talk you right out of your drawers. And then you'll be sitting up here looking to say, damn, you out here jonesing on the street and everything, and you're looking and everything. You say, oh man, that girl's hot as fuck. And then you so blurry, and then you go to look, and then you look down as a woman, and it's a man with a dick, and then you're fucked up. Yeah. But to each his own. Maybe people are looking those things and everything. But focus point is that of the 1 second. Yeah, the focus point is that to make sure we go ahead and when it's time for our day to come around, especially in the month, every single month, okay? We have 3 days to where we retrieve this. When it's that day to come around, that we're ready for it, to go ahead and cleanse our body and receive it. Now, at the same time, when we go for so long and everything, we might have these different succubus. They're gonna come through us. They're gonna come, right? And we are going to. Now, this happened to me when I was at about my. It happened to me at my 10th month when I consciously went celibate. And it happened also at the 14th or 15th month when I was consciously, not jacking off when I was inside, right? 1 second. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So what happened was the and I think was actually her at this point in time. I actually think it was actually her. And what I mean by that is I had a succubus come in, and I was conscious. It was in my dream, and I was conscious and everything, and it was arousing. And then I looked up, and it was my ex-wife. She was on me, riding, riding me. And I looked, and I was like, oh. And I was getting ready, and then I saw a glitch. I saw a glitch in my dream. I saw the fucking glitch. Okay? In my dream, I saw the fucking glitch and everything. And then I went ahead and I grabbed the head of my penis, and I choked it, and I pushed her off and pushed it off, and it shook, and it was a fucking succubus in my dream. I reached in and grabbed it, knocked the shit out there, got her off, and then grabbed myself and had to go to the restroom and clean, because the tip had got out. I was pissed. I was so fucking pissed to fuck off. So this is a suggestion and everything. And it's not to say that you won't be able to go ahead and complete whatever days that it is that you set out, or months, or whatever it is, or complete celibacy. Okay? But before you allow or go through those things like that, to where what I'm going through, to have to fight something like that, and you don't do it, and you don't, then I would personally rather go ahead. If I got to that point to where I had to go ahead and relieve myself, I'd make sure that I relieve myself. And I was thinking on whether it be just on the act alone of relieving it, and just the feeling, sensation, and so forth, to that of your not to go into anybody past, or you dreamt of who it is to come into you don't even really want to go. I think that's bad even. You know what I'm saying? That's like you're projecting something in a sexual, and you haven't even met that future wife or future husband just yet. You know what I'm saying? So, but I think you get what I'm saying is, relieve yourself, and so that right there does not happen. That's my point. That's my point inside of that right there. Relieve it so that does not happen, and you can go ahead and continue on with that of focusing for your Christos to go down and up in a right manner, and be ready, for those for the each quarter, each moon, new moon, uh, each quarter of the moon, full moon, and even speaking of full moon, I'm gonna digress again, because during that time in 2023, it might have been 2022, but 2023, that sun with Hanuman, I was actually a double supermoon, in which they set up the fight. Going back to the fight now in Tanzania, okay? The set up kickboxing fight. Going back to the fight there. They set that shit up. They even set up the day. Again, I tried to start this right here on time at 7:13. It just so happened to be I sat down. I don't know if I did or not, but I was trying to. I know I started up twice, but it would just so happen to be that time. But they waited to 7:13, John D. Day, okay, to go ahead, and Leviathan of Job, all right, the Levi, which is evil, okay, T, which is that cross, and Han, which is, he said, with the Shaolin Temple, we have a Shaolin student, or a Shaolin school, who has brought shame to the Shaolin Temple. and this was Han. So Leviathans, okay, in which we have been wrestling with, whether it be in the spirit or whether it be in person, in 3D person. And so all these things right here, and after, I will ascend and become like the Most High in 14:14, Isaiah, okay? Then in 55, Isaiah, they go ahead and say, come on over here and eat for free, because they've, the 9:3, of fellowship with men, 13, okay, of Tungjin, the 9:3 on that is something you go, and then that of Tayu, the preponderance of the great, okay, not the preponderance of the great. What we're looking at here, the power of the great, Ain't no power great of the possession and great measure, Let's get it right. Possession and great measure. So after 14:14 in Isaiah, the ascension said, I will ascend to be like the Most High, like the Most High. Notice it was a capital, a small case, lowercase m, and a capital G. All right. And so then they shoot, to 55, which is abundance. Okay. 55, which is abundance, to Isaiah 55 and say, come on over. We have accumulated, amassed enough people right now. We're going to 93 this. We're going to 93. We're going to do it. 93. And he come on over and eat for free, right? Come over and eat for free and everything. So in that possession of great measure, along the way, we all have to go ahead and be together, in unison. I do, right? Have to be together in unison. And a lot of times things don't work out. A lot of times we have a lot of problems and everything. So inside of here, this first 93, 9 in the third position, tells us like this. It says, he hides. Li means weapons. Li means weapons for one. And I want to go ahead and preface this one also. You see, when we're going back talking about the months and so forth, even pregnancy, even when we were talking about giving birth and everything, the 9 months that it takes, or 270 days that it takes to go ahead and give birth, people can, as soon as the nightfall comes, this is where we're able to go ahead and see the stars and so forth, see the constellations, see the zodiac, see the constellations and so forth, okay? And see where people are coming in, who this is. This is why the 3 wise men, went to go see. It was foretold of this, okay, birth, and each of us are foretold. And whether where we came from, what we probably going to do, and who's going to change this, who's going to do that. It's a lot of people. You know what I'm saying? And so the heavenlies, out of that 55, okay, the heavenlies, okay, 25 belong to the earth. All right, 25 belong to the earth, and 30 belong to the heavens. All right. And so that brings us to 55 and everything. Right? And so when we understand those, those changes of even 1, 5, and 10, okay? Even when Moshe, when it said to Moses and say, hey, when the angels going to, he questioned the angels, well, what if there's 50? That's cool. What if there's 50 righteous people? we blot out Sodom and Gomorrah? What if there's 40? What if there's 30? What if there's 20? What if there's 10? He stopped him at 10. Just peeled on off and everything. Okay? Wouldn't destroy it. But 30 is that of the degrees of the heavenlies and so forth. You know? And 30 inside of each is that of Li, clinging fire. Okay? Which actually has a double hexagram, two trigrams, and the center in between is actually yin lines. So we're dealing with the yin nature right there inside of that. It's a clinging fire, and Li also means weapon. Okay? So weapon does not necessarily have to mean to destroy, because we need fire in order to we even take a weapon down here. It doesn't even destroy in that sense, as we have gone to war to do. Okay? At the same time, we see also that when we go to have possession in great measure, we're going to see how both Li is in both that of fellowship with men, okay, which is on the bottom trigram, okay, 13, and then 14, possession of great measure, Li is in the top trigram. So we have the feminine, which is in the bottom trigram, under fellowship with men. So we know some women is over there, with the men, okay? Or at least one woman among six. Among six is one woman inside of there. And she's in the bottom half of the trigram, of the hexagram, okay? Now over here, when we're getting ready to have possession in great measure, the female, and she's surrounded at the top, but we have great measure over here. So this is the time that we're in right now. Again, possession and great measure. Okay? Now, the battle is also that transition of fellowship with men, because not all men is cool. Not all women is cool. But to have possession in great measure, then we will have that if we're going to go ahead and grab our first 6, or 12, decide as it is, or 12, 1:08 on the clock right now, be midnight to go ahead and actually do that. Be straight up about it. Or straight down about it. See, we got midnight light. So, but really, 6 o'clock is really midnight in a general sense when we have darkness by 6 o'clock, in general sense. Okay? In general sense. So, what happens over here, and we're just going to hit the 9-3s right now, because the 9-3, everybody, Rod spoke on them too and everything, Aleister Crowley, and ayahuasca, a lot of people, I don't know if a lot of people knew, but I know we knew, Avatar and everything, because Av is inside of there too. Av meaning like the VA. VA is Av. AV, VA is Veterans Administration, okay? Av is American Veterans, okay? Straight up. So that's a lot of people's father is the military. A lot of people's fathers are fucking military. Matter of fact, God, GAWD is really pronunciation, but this is God, and He is one who gave us the means to go ahead and give us this military social construct, in which we implement inside of the military as well as inside of the world, and a lot of people just don't understand it and know it and everything. But that's pretty much what we're on, right? And so, what happens is when we have Li and Hien, see, now we have Hien, which is the creative in possession of great measure. And that's at the bottom. It's strong lines. It's 9. That's all 9s. 999. Okay? That's fucking change. At the bottom, strong. So we got Lee with a 969. And so she, Lee's middle girl, middle sister, she is she's got it. She's got it. As it says, father, daughter. Father, daughter. This isn't as proper as that. Coming again, going back to Sister Mary in the proper father, daughter. Okay? If we haven't fucked it up, then we're going to have a strong ass motherfucking thing, because, again, it's going to be in that matriarch in which that seed is going to go. See, the male, we only go ahead. I'm not going to say only. We give it life charge. We give it life and charge for this plane here until we become, again, that of the parthenogenesis gene translucent beings that we are. And when I say are, because that's what that is, the translucent beings, the semen, okay, in which there is in both of us, that is coming to connect in order to create. See what I'm saying? So, and the translucent beings and everything that we are, even as we come together right now via this, and even the medicine today is energy medicine. They're this is where it's switched to right now, is energetic medicine. So they say energetic medicine in the sense of showing us how to do, but in the reality of it, this is the extraction of it. Even this thing right here is the extraction of that energetic medicine and everything. And feeding AI into it, and again, AI freaks out when we fucking say, when the algorithm says no compute. Even some shit I didn't ask AI, and they says, well, it doesn't mean this, but over here, and it's the same fucking thing. They just said it. No, it didn't mean it in the beginning. If you don't follow it all the way through, fucking hey, it's some crazy ass shit. Crazy ass shit. But so the possession of great measure, going back to, again, shooting it back to Isaiah, this is Isa, which means cold. Isaiah, Ha Isa, okay? ISA, if we go started to right to left, is Ha Isa, okay? So it's Isa basically. And 55, it says, now come on over. Especially, this is when they really said it, after the 14th Amendment. See, we're talking about meridians right now. We're talking about the phallus and everything still out of Asar, okay? Osiris and everything being put back on. Meaning, again, the phallus that I wanted Emmanuel and Timothy to stand up and learn how to urinate with holding his fucking phallus. Not sit down like a girl. And that started the demasculation in order for them to have great possession, and then lock a lot of us up inside of the prisons, this prison, all kinds of shit. Fucked us up. Motherfuckers been fucked up. 1:14 on the clock right now. Fucked us up. Okay? As they 14 to Amen. Amen. Not Amun, but Amen. D, which is a door, mental. Okay? The 14th Amendment, which was giving all right to people. This is where the people came in. Okay? This is where the peephole came. They came in through the peephole. That motherfucker was coming in through the peephole. That's how they got here. Okay. But it's not all bad. It's not all bad because this was in our contract before we got here. This is what we signed up for. We knew what we was doing. And don't get me wrong, there's been many motherfucking times that I said, what the fuck? Who the fuck? What? And we still say some of that sometimes and everything. You know what I'm saying? but this is exactly what fucking we signed up for. So that the people of the 14th Amendment, you know, let me get this real quick. All right, the 14th Amendment ratified in 1868 granted citizenship for all people born or naturalized in the United States, including formerly enslaved people. It also extended the Bill of Rights, liberties to them and established other rights, not other rights, but other rights, which are above, okay, including equal protection, due process, right of voting, debt, the validity of authorized U.S. public debt cannot be questioned. However, debts incurred to support insurrection or rebellion are illegal and void. They put a motherfucker, and this is the 14 we talking about. It wasn't just on the fucking paper. That was on each of our fucking meridians, on each of our generations and shit. Each of our generations this was on. All right? That shit was deep. That shit was deep. But if we are if we are walking that middle path again, 14th, and we remember, okay, we remember that of 14:14 of Shemot, it says, and the Lord shall fight for you, and yea. What yea is it? That fluid. So that's really saying who's going to do it also? The Christos. You know, the Christos is going to, shall hold your peace. Shall hold your peace. So that's pretty deep. That's fucking pretty deep. You gotta hold your peace. I mean, don't give your jism away like that. Don't give your electricity away like that. Don't give it away like that. Give it away, give it away, give it away. They tell you to give it away. Don't give it away. Oh, okay, that's that blue back there. Okay, I like that blue. Okay. Anyway, so yeah. So what happens is, and this is what's happening right now. So when we hit that fellowship, Tungjin with fellowship with men, and this is that 93rd. This is coming back to you right now. All right. It says, 93rd place says, he hides weapons in the thicket. He climbs in the hill in front of it. For 3 years, he does not rise up. Here, fellowship has changed about to mistrust. Each man distrusts each other, plans a secret ambush, and to seek to spy on his fellow from afar. I wonder who's spying. Anybody spying on me? You think anybody's spying on me? They might be spying on you. They ain't spying on me, though. Shit. We are dealing with an obstinate opponent whom we cannot come at by this method. Obstacles stand in the way. Fellowship with others are shown here. One has mental reservations of one's own part and seeks to take his opponent by surprise. Let me say that again. One has mental reservations for one's own part and seeks to take his opponent by surprise. This very fact that makes one mistrustful, suspecting the same wiles in his opponent by trying to fret them out, trying to scare them, trying to scare them. Okay? Trying to scare them. The result is that one departs further and further from true fellowship. The longer this goes on, the more alienated one becomes. That is part of Shaolin number 13. That's part of it. It's got to be Shaolin rule number 13. 93. 9 in the third place. Elite. War. Got to remember. Do you remember? Now, this is the part right here that I don't necessarily agree with right here. Even with I do agree with in a general sense, and I'll explain that. So, 9 in the third place, again, going over here to possession in great measure. All right? So 9 in the third place is a prince offers it to the Son of Heaven. It says, a petty man cannot do this. A magnanimous man, a magnanimous, liberal-minded man should not regard what he possesses as his exclusive personal property, but he should place it at disposal of the ruler or of the people. We just got finished seeing who the people was, right? The people at large. Okay, so magnanimous, if you have to break that fucking word down, because that's a positive word and a negative word conjoined. Magnanimous, and they said liberal-minded. I guess they put in there liberal because in the sense of scales. So it tells you that is a positive and a negative. It has to be balanced. Okay, it tells you that. Okay, why? Because magnanimous man means easily forgiving others. Okay, big heart, big lion heart even. Okay, noble, brave. All right, an oversized heart. Okay, but at the same time, animus is in there. Okay, and animus means hostility, ill feeling, dislike, enmity. Okay, strong dislike. Okay, so that is the liberalism inside of that word of magnanimous man. All right, so let's continue back on here, and it says, so he's telling him, but he should place his personal property at the disposal of the ruler of the people at large. In so doing so, he takes the right attitude towards his possession, which, as private property, can never endure. A petty man, now you want to call him petty because he has some private property. You want to call him petty because he has private property. Okay? A petty man is incapable of this. He is harmed by great possessions because instead of sacrificing them, he would keep them for himself. And it says here, this offer is the same dictum about possessions as that is found in the words of the Bible. So they turn even to the Bible and listen to it. Say, whosoever shall seek to save his life shall lose it, and whoever shall lose his life shall preserve it. That didn't have shit to do with the same thing. His property and his life has nothing to fucking do with the same thing. And this is what possession and great measure of the 14 I Ching, or even 14 is really the number of Tanzania, the brain. And these are the things that I was telling you about as far as how they were arguing amongst each other, even just for what it was, they $5,000. I think it was 5,000. This is my last though. 5,000 plus, it's about 7 7 racks, you know, their plane ticket and all that shit. And all that, you know. This is what they did over 7 fucking pennies. 7 fucking pennies in that aspect. But the bigger aspect was what we're talking about right now, and that is again private fucking property that's left to me inside of a fucking will, inside of my will, of my people. Did they people? No, it's not their people. Not, matter of fact, we're not people. We're the motherfucking owners of this motherfucking shit. You made up the people. The people. You can't peeping over here. We didn't peep over there. And those of us that were here on this end also said, well, fuck, might as well, hell, we can get them on land too. So they became the people too. You see what I'm saying? Peeping. And so now they can peep right inside every damn thing. Everybody the people right now. Shit. Everybody little Bo Peep. Right? What's up, little Bo Peeps? Oh my goodness. Little Bo Peeps. And then it goes on. Let me see back here. Oh yeah, so the 30, that's what I wanted to get to. So 30, because this one right here is deep. This one right here is deep. I was like, wow. I mean, it's right in front of our faces. It's right in front of our faces. And we're going back to 30 again because 30 is that of the planetaries, okay? Of the degrees of each of the and 30 years old was also the age in which one had to be at least to go ahead and start teaching inside of the synagogues and so forth, or, had to be 30s, okay? Let me get here. Yeah. And we should stay on a 93. We just went 93 on each of them. Okay? Keep game. 93. Not in the third place. In the light of the setting sun, this evening sun is sinking low. A few more days and I must go to meet the deed that I have done. There will be no setting sun. I think that's how I go anyway. So, in the light of the setting sun, it says men either beat the pot and sing, right? Or loudly bewail the approach of old age. Okay? They either beat the light, beat the pot and sing, or loudly bewail the approach of old age, misfortune. Here, the end of the day has come. The setting sun. Somebody's title of a post was the other day. The light of the setting sun calls to mind the fact that life is transitory and conditioned, caught in external bondage. Men are usually robbed of their inner freedom as well. The sense of these transitories of life impels them to be uninhibited. Rivalry in order to enjoy life while it lasts. Or else they yield the melancholy and the spoil of the precious time by lamenting the approach of old age. Both attitudes are wrong. The superior man makes no difference whether death is early or late. He cultivates himself and waits for his allotted time. And in this way, he secures his fate. Right? So those are the degrees. Line upon line. Before we get to the lines, we ain't talking about the line. We got to be lying about this, lying about that. I ain't talking about line about this, line about that. We're talking about the precepts upon precepts, precept upon precept, lines upon lines, lines upon lines. Here a little, there a little. Do you see what I'm saying? And that word in Ivrit, those lines upon lines, is change. It means change. Sav means change. And that's what this time is right now. That's what time it is right now. So if you're not in telepathy, right? If you're not in that telepathy mode right now, like a lot of us mirror each other no matter what. No matter what levels everybody's on, what people have done or what their roles are, what their contract is, and there's a lot of we all have different contracts. We all signed up for something different. But if you don't know what you signed up for, then I would get busy and just preparing our body first. Preparing our body, to go ahead and receive the downloads then. Go ahead and receive the downloads. They're coming already, as everybody's been stating, you know what I'm saying? Like these three ladies right here, and to include that of Radiohead, Rich, Rod, Sister Myra, Mama T, and that of Lady Vicky here. Even who I've been vibing with, even off of what at least the astrology part of what she said, it's on point. Molly, it's on point. It's on point. Yeah. Everybody might have different angles, but it's on point. It's on point. You know what I'm saying? So, again, a lot of this is energy medicine. Learning how to do energy. But again, whether it's extracting it like they're doing, or making sure that your energy, that you take in the right nutrients in order to go ahead and be your own medicine. Be your own medicine. That you do the alchemizing within yourself to go ahead and bring yourself back to the health, and even beyond the health that we were at, okay? Even our best health that we've been at. And so that time is right now, basically. That time is right now. So, with that right there, that's going to be it. That's all I got for you tonight, people. I mean, I'm not even going to call you people. All right? I'm just say vrooms. Because if you're not a vroomer, then hey, see you later, alligator. Even as Rod did say, hey, and the flag of Jamaica does have that of the alligators, like Florida's known for the alligators and everything, you know what I'm saying? He was talking about the Cria oil, you know what I'm saying? Christos oil, as he was likening it unto that of olive oil, even that of alligator oil and so forth, you know what I'm saying? Jamaica with that of the Switzerland flag has the alligators on one of their old flags and everything, you know what I'm saying? Jamaica funk, that's what it is. Let it get into you. Yeah, Betty. Anyways, we're not gonna go anywhere but in the right direction, and in the left direction, and just walk down the motherfucking middle. All right. And you guys take care. I thank you again. Much love to you. Peace, shalom, happiness. You know what I'm saying? Because it's gonna be a stretch. It's gonna be a stretch. Anyway, you guys take care, and we'll talk to you later. All right? Much love. Ciao, ciao.